I'm a bit reluctant to go too far with it, but there is the kind of competition between the Charlie figure, who's obviously the right choice, and Kane, who is the bad boy, Kane Hinchcliffe, who's the obviously bad choice. So I have to say, I was made to make a choice by my publishers this time, because my personal preference would have been a bit of, well, there's room in the world for all sorts of things. And she is only young, but I did have to make a choice in this last book, which was a bit tricky. I've got a very weird perspective on life, I think, from the books that I actually just picked up. But there was a series, the only series I can remember about girls there was Anna the air hostess, Susie the secretary, and Nancy the nurse, or something like that. That was the kind of limit, really. So I went straight into grown-up books, really.
So
Anything.
What kind of books would you pick up?
I liked history. I liked. There was a great. I'm trying to think of the name of the writer. He used to write for a thing called Strand magazine, which is where. Hello. It's just packed with fans. Paid them all to come in, which all the big writers used to write kind of series for. So Dickens and people like that would so they learned how to write cliffhangers. And he wrote this book, this person whose name Anthony, it'll come to me, and it was called The Naughty Princess. And it was a series of fairy stories which could be very much appreciated by grown-ups, but actually were put into a kind of child's. And the thing that gripped me most was an illustration which was of a fairy who'd gone to a christening, and she'd had a little bit too much nectar at the nectar bar, so she's kind of flopped like this on the bar. And so I liked that kind of naughty kind of adventuresome things. I recently got banned from I never go into schools because it's not the right environment or atmosphere for me, because I like to speak honestly, and I'm not a teacher. I'm not there to keep order or to educate, really, in a way. And it was just like a riot. It was just really like, and then the librarian that hired me had to go see the headmistress. So I'm not ever going back. But I think it is that sort of thing. It's that area which they really need a secret mate about. And to some extent, that's what the letters I get definitely reflect that. They write very personally to me. It's hilarious, really. They write like they think. So it goes, "Hi, Lou." They'll put, "Oh, so bored. Hang on a minute, my pen's run out." Just telling me everything as he goes. And then kind of like just telling me about their lives and what they feel like, and how they picked up a little bit of information about how weird boys are. I'm so sorry to say that, but we have to face facts. I was talking to someone about, in this audience, where I got banned, it was an all-girls school. And it was such a shame, because it was so interesting to talk to them. And one of the questions they said to me was, what do you think about going to an all-girls school? Because I went to an all-girls school. And I said, unfortunately, I said in front of the teachers, well, actually, I thought it was really crap at the time, clearly. I didn't want to be I wanted to be out with boys. But now, on reflection, I think it allows me to just blossom, especially as far as humour goes. I wouldn't have got dressed as a stuffed olive if some bloke had been around that I fancied. I'd have thought, oh, no, best not, the green cage and the tights and the red head. And nor would I've developed that kind of girl gang thing, I think, because somehow our focus would have been somewhere else when you get interested in boys.
Can I ask very quickly about the film?
Yes.
What did you think about it? What were your thoughts?
Well, I've had to grow up a bit about this, actually, because I was incredibly adolescent about the whole furious, livid, that I wasn't completely in charge. Could not be bothered with people saying, well, there has to be endings. There has to be a big party and a reconciliation between Robbie. I mean, one of the scripts that was written, first of all, I had nothing to do with it. It was given to two bloke script writers in America to write who'd never been to England. And they wrote this thing which I did this terrible thing actually. I read it, my agent sent it to me, and I sent it back, an email to her saying, this makes me want to set fire to myself, it is so bad. She just sent it straight back to Paramount. So there was a bit of a kind of, you know, a little bit of a foie d'oeuvre between us. But I guess you do have to, the girls like it, you see, and I can't. When I started going out, when it was first out, I remember going to the Edinburgh Festival and going, I was still livid, and I went, have you seen the film? And they were going, yeah. And I said, what did you think? And they went, we really loved it, you know, and so I had to just go, can't argue with people if they like it. And so maybe I'm a bit too hard with some, you know, maybe I don't need to be quite so adamant about my viewpoint, really. I did do a version of it. Actually, this is the best thing. I did a 7 or 8 week run at the West Yorkshire Playhouse in Leeds, actually, which was amazing for me because that's my hometown, that's where I went and everything. And it was fantastic, it's the best fun. Got brilliant reviews. It's just so expensive to bring to the West End, so it hasn't come down here. We might do something, but in the meantime, I've got all the props in my house. It is the funniest thing. I've got a snog-o-meter in my hall. It's this massive thing with like below waist activity, and I think that's right at the top. And then there's tongues at 4, and it just lights up. You can bang it, and then it lights up at different things.
Do you have nightmares about being discovered dead in your house and breaking in and finding all this?
Well, no. I mean, it's anybody who comes around, postman, anybody that comes around is treated to the sight of all of this stuff. I've got everything. I've got a massive Angus the cat puppet thing, and some kittens like that. So I can actually answer the door to the postman with my puppet massive cat.